Hello, everybody. It's just us.
Hello.
And we are here today with two wonderful guests. We'll start introductions. I'm Sandra Baskin. I'm hosting today's show. My co-host, Daryl Annisfeld, is there. Co-host, Sandy Gulliver, is there somewhere. All righty. We have Sue Wolff. She's an author of children's books, and Pam Rice, also an author of children's books, and she's also an illustrator and an artist. Sue, you may have some of those other exciting things in your life, and if you do, you can talk about them when we're asking questions. So I will start. Sue, what prompted you to write your very first children's book?
Well, I had just finished, I was retired from teaching, and I used to take this little duck in with me every day, and the kids named the duck Quackers. It was a little stuffed animal, but Quackers somehow over the years developed his own identity. And my last year, the kids said to me, you know, Mrs. Wolff, you teach us writing. Why don't you write a book about Quackers? After you leave. So I left and I thought, oh, I don't know. I've never written a children's book, but I took some classes and went to some mentors. Lo and behold, it took me 10 years before it was published. But I didn't give up.
Good for you.
So it was fun.
So did you find a publisher or did you self-publish?
Well, I was lucky enough. I did find a publisher, and it was a mid-sized publisher from Missouri, which I didn't know that Missouri is a very prolific literary state.
Yeah, I didn't know
especially
that
for
either.
children's. I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I was lucky, and it's a lot of work. Got to market it, even though it's traditionally published. And then, unfortunately, sign of the times, the publisher, my contract ran out, and thank goodness, before I re-signed, she went under. It just,
dear.
You just, so I was in the middle of writing my second. It's a series, and my illustrator who lives in Canada, we decided to partner, and then we published the second book together.
Cool.
And the third is sitting on my desk.
So you said that you then went to classes to learn how to be a writer. Is that something a person has to do? Because I wrote a little children's book of my own, and I just did it because I wanted something to my grandmother. 20 years ago, it's been sitting here. I've not done a single thing with it.
We can talk about it.
Oh, you have it there, Sandra?
I have it. Yeah, if we have time, I wanted to read it.
Yeah.
But Sandy's question to you, Sue, and don't worry about the dog. This is all like we're all in our own living room, casual.
So sorry about Harper the dog. Very vocal.
You should write a book about him.
I'm just working with a young mother in Tennessee. She's publishing her first book, and she was actually an English teacher, a college English teacher, and I'm working with her. And no, you do not.
You don't have to take
there, Pam. I know you know this. There's so much to learn about writing a children's book, and when I was published, my publisher put me on to her editor, and she was a woman in her 80s, and she did not give me a break. Oh my goodness. She would say to me, if you don't get this time, we're out.
Oh, how unpleasant.
But you know what? I learned.
I
learned a lot from her. Oh my gosh, I still thank her today. So I think I just did it for self-education, but no, absolutely. I want everybody who has an interest to sit down and write. It's just so, it gets you in the soul. Yeah.
Would you say, Pam, it's so what?
Therapeutic.
Oh, I'm sure it's
Yes.
that, yeah.
Yes.
Sense of accomplishment for sure, too, right?
How do you come up with your characters or their personality? Do they already have a personality when you're starting to write?
Quackers.
You know, that's funny because my series is about a group of animal friends at a pond. And you know that I got that pond idea from going to Botanic Gardens so often,
Mhm.
because there's an owl and a goose and Quackers the duck and his friend Clementine and Ollie the owl, all these things that you know you see at a pond. And yes, they took on their personalities the more that I wrote. Absolutely. So that's interesting. That's a great question. They do.
Somebody's trying to find somebody.
It's cool.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Pam, why don't you tell us a little bit how you got started illustrating?
Well, my life's work has been advertising design and visual communication. So I was always an artist and always an illustrator. My father was a designer, my brother's a designer, so it was in the family.
Mhm.
About 10 years ago, I started doing illustrations for other people, mainly in the advertising industry. And a few of them had children's books. Everyone has children's books. So I just started doing illustrations. And I did that for about 5 years until I decided that, I might as well do my own.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, because I had so many stories to tell. And that's because when we were growing up, we were always creative. I mean, we were always outside playing and doing stuff and coming up with ideas and building this and painting that and going into the forest to forage and hunt. And we were, we did all kinds of fun things. And so I have a lot of memories and a lot of stories.
That's
You have a lot of good old
That's
friends.
my source. That is actually my source. And I don't think I'll ever run out.
Run out of material.
I've got about 24 books out now.
Mhm.
And every last one of them are from memories. And it was a little bit of embellishment, of course. But I've had people ask me, is this really, part of your, growing up? And I says, yeah, a lot of it's interesting.
Some
Where
of the
did
best
you grow
stories.
up, Pam?
Pardon me?
Where did you grow up?
Evanston.
Oh, I was thinking someplace very wooded.
Yeah.
Maybe Evanston was at one time.
I'm sure they have a forest preserve somewhere.
Oh, well, Evanston is just a very tree-lined streets and, it's all full of, parks and what have you. So there's lakefront and plenty of stuff to do. But yeah, I've been illustrating a lot of my own books, and sometimes there's a lull, there's a dry period, but most of the time I will do an average of about maybe 4 or 5 books a year. And I self-publish too.
Self-published, yeah.
Self-publish, yeah, because it's so, if you really wait for publishers to pick you up, you may never see anything in print.
You'd be old, right?
Yeah. And
No.
there's a method to the whole thing, because if you self-publish, and the main thing is to find a good editor. And a lot of those are at my disposal, because a lot of the people that I know that are copywriters and so forth are in advertising. So there were always people that I could get to edit. The other serious issue was printing, because there are a lot of printers now who, require, they have maybe 1,000 book minimum. And you can imagine how much room 1,000 books of one book will take.
Mhm.
So I found a great printer out of New York who will print on demand.
How'd you do that? How'd you
Well,
find them?
Well,
Research.
I did some research.
Hmm.
With the internet now, you can just find people.
Yeah.
And and with the digital age, digital is really one of the best inventions because, there's not a lot of press work or anything. Everything's output, if you need 25 copies, you can get 25 copies,
Right.
so that's the beauty of self-publishing.
Pam, I have another question.
Mhm.
I also happen to know that you're an excellent artist. Did you find that skill as a result of being an illustrator first, or did
No,
the other way
this
around?
goes back to kindergarten.
Ah, There's a
It's
story.
always something I've always done.
Gotcha.
If I didn't get any A's in anything, I got it in art.
Yeah.
So
I'm
I've
sure you
always done
very
that.
nice
But I just picked up painting back in like 2006, and I hadn't painted since college. And I had gone to a friend's exhibit, and I was looking at her stuff, and I was going, "Oh, nice, nice, nice," But when I got back home, I said, I'm going to get back into this. Yes.
I asked Pam to have a couple of her books handy. Is that one of the covers you're showing there, Sandy?
This is
Well,
something
that's one of the
on her
paintings.
Facebook page.
Yeah, that's a painting she found.
Oh, that's your painting. Yeah, she sells her paintings rather easily too, if I recall.
Can't really see it very well on my phone, but you go to her Facebook page.
Yeah.
And ladies, we'll be posting how people can find you
Mhm.
on Facebook and in Instagram.
And how we can order your book.
Yeah, these the children's books are this is The Painting Speaks.
Yeah.
And I used 3 artists in the book that I know of that are pretty well known. Sylvia St. James, she created the first Kwanzaa stamp for the U.S. Post
Oh my.
Service. And this gentleman down in Texas who does some beautiful Indian illustrations. And so they became a part of this book.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a cute story, and it seemed to be one of the more popular ones.
And Pam, you two can probably get connected.
Yeah.
Sounds to me like Pam could be helpful. She also does other stories
Yes.
that are not children's books. This is one of them about adventurers.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple others too, right?
That's one, and this is the latest one. Navigating the Adventurer's Fate.
Yeah.
And they were the first one came out about a year and a half ago when I was coming from the boatyard, and this guy was with me. He was helping with some work. And he was telling me about all the bike rides he takes. The longest one was 1,000 miles into Canada, and so on and so forth. And I got to thinking. I said, I just know too many people. Let me tell my stories and their stories too. And so the first book was about nine different people who I highlighted in that particular book. And this last one was about 7. And these are some people that they're really on the edge and do some great stuff. Sandy knows a few of them.
Yeah. Excuse me, we had time up already?
That means 15 minutes has passed and we're gonna probably wrap up in about 5. But did you say I know some of them?
Sandy Baskin.
Oh, that's Sam.
They call me Sandy at the,
Yeah,
at the
no,
club.
no,
Yeah.
no. Can you read my story real quick?
Yes, that's
Sandra?
just what I'm going to say. We want to see what these 2 girls think of it. All right, it's called Baby's First Caterpillar. And you know what? If we go over a couple of minutes, not the end of the world. Diddy, said Baby. Diddy. Mama did not look. Mama was reading her book. Baby touched the Diddy, and the Diddy curled up in a little ball. Baby picked up Diddy. The Diddy walked up Baby's arm. It tickled, and Baby laughed. Mama looked up. What do you have, Baby? She asked. Diddy, squealed Baby. Yes, baby, it looks just like a ditty. It's a caterpillar. Do you want to keep it? We can put it in a jar and feed it leaves. Every day, Baby looked at his ditty caterpillar. One day, the caterpillar was gone. And all that was in the jar was a ball of cotton stuck on a leaf. Baby cried and cried for his ditty caterpillar. Every day he looked in the jar in case he came home. Then one day, the best thing happened. Instead of Diddy Caterpillar, something even better was in the jar. It was Diddy Caterpillar with big, beautiful angel wings with all the best colors in them, and he could fly now. Baby loved Diddy Caterpillar, who could fly so much, but Mama said, we have to let him go home now. Then she opened up the jar. Diddy, Diddy. Baby was crying with big tears falling down his cheek because Diddy Caterpillar was flying too fast for Baby to catch him. He landed one time on Baby's nose to give him a kiss goodbye. Goodbye, Diddy Caterpillar. I will always love you, and Baby did. That was a long, long time ago. Baby is a big man now, but he always stops to smile when he sees a flying Diddy Caterpillar. I have goosebumps, actually.
I was just gonna say, I have goosebumps.
Yeah.
I love it. Love.
I do.
Oh,
Do you have a copy of your book handy so we could see it?
you know what? I would have to disappear for like 1 second.
We'll put it on the face. We'll put it on
Yeah,
the
we'll put
page.
the
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah. Oh, what a lovely story.
Yeah,
Oh,
isn't it? So
Yeah.
when she first told us about this, I said, you should consider publishing it because I'm certainly not an expert, but it, you see, it gave me goosebumps and I love it too. So what do you think, girls? Should she try and publish this?
What do you think, Pam?
Well, sure. You just have to target your market, and you probably in an age group where you probably what 2 to 3, 4 years old.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would say
So that's where you would
2,
probably,
3, 4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
And it's also a good book for maybe preschoolers as an introduction, because they always do units
Mhm.
on,
Because of
you
the
know,
transformation
caterpillars
from
and
Oh,
yeah.
caterpillar
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
butterfly. Yeah.
So we'll work on her and maybe she could get some advice from you two gals. And
Yeah,
she
that's
knows a
lovely.
gazillion people and how to market things well. So yeah.
I
Anyway,
have to interrupt you and say, for one thing, I want to congratulate you ladies for killing Irma.
oh, thank you.
I thought that was fantastic.
Pam has asked to see it like 2 and 3 more times. We're going to show it at the club here soon. That's nice of you to say that, Pam.
Thank you.
We're going to have our director on here in a couple weeks. And then for those of you out there, our audience, you can come for episode 10. And we'll talk about killing Irma and how it got put together and the fun we had. And thank you, Pam, again. How are we doing on time there,
Well,
ladies?
I think we've covered it. What we're going to do is put everything on Facebook, including the link to this video. Obviously, you're watching it, so you found it somehow. And it will have links to pictures of their books, links to how to contact them, and whatever else they want me to share with you. That's on the Just Us Facebook page, which is called Just Us with Sandra Baskin, Daryl Annisfeld, and Sandy Gulliver. Please follow it when you find it. And with that, I think we can say goodbye for this week, and we'll see you next week. Oh, by the way, next week we have Antoine McKay. If you don't know who Antoine McKay is, you may want to Google him right now because he's something special.
Going to be a fun show.
Mhm.
And in the meantime, thank you, ladies, for joining us. This was so
Thank you.
wonderful and so informative. And congratulations on your accomplishments.
Yeah.
Big congratulations.
Thank you.
So
Thank
we
you.
will depart and this episode will be live Wednesday afternoon after 12 noon.
Okay.
And we'll post that link everywhere. Okay, toodaloo, everybody.
Bye.
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 Bye. Stay
Bye.
well, everyone.
Be safe.